And we are live. Welcome to the stream. We're back for the 18th episode of Crypto CHADS, and today I'm going to say we're talking about 2023 crypto predictions. So this isn't necessarily price predictions. It could be price predictions, and it could be what we think is going to happen in 2023. We're going to cover quite a few topics here. So we're going to cover central exchanges. We're going to cover Hex and Richard Hart. We're going to cover Palm Swap. We're going to cover Bitcoin and anything else that comes up, maybe in the chat or what we kind of go into and chat about really as we go through this subject. So, how are you doing today, Blackie?
Good, mate. Cheers. Pretty good. Just slowly losing track of all the micro caps that I keep looking into and considering for the future. But yeah, I've been working, so I've been in the charts a load, but I've been on like the evenings this week, and they're not looking too bad, to be fair. So I'm hoping to keep pumping into Christmas, but just don't know, do we? Just don't know, but I'd like to see it all recover into 2023. And even if we have some upside, most likely be range bound. I don't see a full on bull run, but so literally got to take it week by week,
Yeah. Well,
and I'm just always looking out to try and get micro caps, because I believe if you get the right ones, like during this bear market, when we get to the next bull run, whenever that may be, to the peak, that is where the big gains are.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, I'm just constantly trying to hunt for good projects, 5 million market cap and below, that I can allocate like 0.5 to 1% of my portfolio to, and just spread them out. And then if something like goes on a run early, then that's great. You've got more room to maneuver and rotate profits. So good, mate. Let's dive in.
Yeah. So first thing I wanted to talk about is central exchanges in 2023. Now, CZ has come out today. We've seen this with a few exchanges actually. Where they're basically coming out and proving that the amount of crypto they've got on their balance sheet is not outweighed by loans that they've taken or stuff that they've stuck in DeFi or whatever. And CZ is put here from Binance: audited proof of reserves transparency. Binance's Bitcoin reserves are fully collateralized according to auditing.
Fully collateralized. That's an interesting word.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Let me just.
Why is it fully collateralized and not just exists on?
Yeah, like we own this amount of Bitcoin.
Yeah. If it's collateralized, that means that they've got loans out, surely.
So this is the article. The auditing firm has reached the same conclusion as Binance itself. As of November 2022, Binance held enough Bitcoin and wrapped Bitcoin to cover all users' balances on the exchange. Binance has already launched a proof of reserves website nearly 2 weeks ago to reassure its users. Let's have a look.
Well, fair enough. They've audited it.
The thing is, so they've got it with Bitcoin, but what about everything else?
Yeah, what about the ETH and all the shit coins, etc.? Well, we know from during the bull run and plenty of times when trading activity is extremely high, that they do run out of shit coins. Yeah. So quite often have to block or stop withdrawals until manage to get more liquidity moved in from other wallets.
Yeah.
Well, even if Binance are fine, which I expect there would be. Like if Binance failed, then all of CeFi and exchanges fail essentially.
Well, this is like
But
this is kind of a list that someone tweeted out. I mean, you don't really have to look at the figures, but what are your thoughts on each of these in terms of, do you think any of these are risky more than others, or
yeah, like
good experience of using all of them? Or
quite a few of them. I don't trust any of
I
them.
don't trust I don't trust Gate.
I don't trust Gate.
Gate.io is dodgy, very
Yeah,
dodgy. Can't remember what I bought on that. Was it VRA?
like might have been T Drop.
I didn't buy that. I think it's
Uh,
VRA what I bought on
there's a
Gate.
lot of shit coins on there, and you can't even execute like market orders properly. It's really shit. Um, like if you're going to leave him on anything on that list, it would have to be Binance. I don't
Yeah,
trust Crypto.com because they have 1/5 Shiba on their balance
yeah,
sheet.
20% Shiba.
Yeah, and they got caught with, is it Huobi and Gate moving funds around for their proof of reserves. So I don't trust them. Qcoin I don't trust because they've been hacked at least twice before the bull run or just when it was starting. I believe Qcoin have a big hole or had a big hole. They're like the shitcoin gem heaven like exchange. Like they always have insane stuff on there, which do crazy moves. But I wouldn't leave funds on Qcoin either.
What about Bit uh Bybit, the one that all
Nah,
the
well,
influencers
I
try
would
to
only leave
steal?
like trading funds on there. I wouldn't use it for storage if you're not actively trading. Um, a bit for next might be okay. Like I think they're as old as Binance. I think older.
Yeah, there used to be something else, didn't there?
Yeah, so they might be okay, but I wouldn't leave it on. And OKX are quite new.
Yeah, them. So they sponsor Man City. They also sponsor an F1 team, I think, and
Yeah,
uh, I've had contact of them about
yeah.
affiliate
Even
programs and stuff.
Qcoins tried to sponsor a racing team at some point, or did.
Yeah,
They're not on the side of a car. Yeah, I don't trust exchanges who pay for advertisements, um, unless they've received funding,
it's
like decent
crazy though, isn't
funding
it?
to do it.
Because
Yeah.
you've got Binance with what they're doing with Ronaldo. You've got
What they
OKX
do?
sponsoring
An
Man.
NFT collection.
Yeah, the NFT collection with Ronaldo. Then
Yeah.
you've got OKX sponsoring Man City and F1. You've got Crypto.com sponsoring an arena, sponsoring the World Cup
Yeah.
and F1 as well. And I'm sure Bybit sponsoring F1 team as well.
Like
Um,
where they're getting all this money from to afford advertisements in the bear market.
well, I did read somewhere that Crypto.com are behind with payments for FIFA for sponsoring the World
Oh
Cup.
really?
I think that's what I read. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
just some
I
rumor on
took
Twitter.
I took my stuff off crypto.com like after took stuff off Celsius, but after that went down,
Yeah.
there was just no way I was risking any centralized. I think yeah, everything is off exchanges now, like literally off. The only trades I do is like either on GMX or I don't trade at all, other than spot buying. At the moment, I literally and I'm for spot buys, I'm actually using Uniswap or Dexes like on Arbitrum or ETH. Um, I'm generally buying spot buys for the future, and if they pump early, I'm taking profits or cost out. So I'm really just avoiding centralized exchanges right now. I just don't think it's worth the risk.
So out of that 10 there in 2023, between now and the end of 2023, how many of them will survive out of the 10, do you reckon?
What is in next year?
Yeah. Will all 10, will, if we did a stream in 1 year's time, will all them 10 still exist?
I think maybe two of them will disappear.
Yeah, I do.
At least two of them. I would put Gate.io on that list.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's Deribit? Never even heard of it. Is that a new one?
I don't know. I've never heard of that, and I've never heard of BitMEX. I'm
I've heard of
surprised
BitMEX, but
Bittrex isn't on there. Have
like
you heard of
they're
that?
way too small to survive a bear market. 1 billion in assets. I mean, that's just a shite amount. There's no way that's going to generate enough money over 6 months to keep them going. No chance. Yeah. Right. So keep your stuff off sexes. Keep them in ideally a ledger or your hot wallet. Keep them secure.
Yeah.
Um,
So
let's move on. At least let's just save that list. We'll have a look in like 6 months.
yeah.
June time. See
So
who's survived.
so
It will
the
literally
next one,
take that kind of time for him.
yeah. So the next one's quite interesting. So this is actually crazy, right? So Pulse Chain and Pulse X. So what happened was there was two different sacrifices, right? So the first sacrifice was Pulse Chain,
Yeah.
670 million. So you would assume whatever address that has gone to, 670 million, right, has been donated. Now
Yeah.
you've got that, so that's one sacrifice. So call it 700 million, right?
Yeah.
And then the second sacrifice that happened was Pulse X, which is like the native decentralized whatever token of the Pulse chain ecosystem. 1 billion
A billion?
sacrifice. Look at that, 1 billion. 975 million.
That's insane. That.
So combined, Richard Hart has had sacrificed to him $1.7 billion.
What?
Now you wonder why he's going round in Gucci tracksuits and Ferraris, but
Man, I can't
this
believe people fell for that. Like, what is happening with that money? He's spending it, isn't he?
what
He
so
has to be.
what would you do with it? Like, would you put some into a DeFi thing and get the interest? What do you reckon he's done with it? Do you reckon he's put it into a normal
Don't
bank?
I
He
don't
couldn't, I'm
think I'd actually
sure.
want to touch it because
That's what I mean.
I would feel like if I did, there's a very good case I'd be getting locked up at some point.
That's what I mean. So he must have a plan of what he's doing with it, besides buying Gucci.
Well, if it really has gone to his friend's charity or whatever, or
Well,
wherever it's meant to go,
25 million was donated to the charity. To his
that's
charity link.
disgusting, mate. It's just, I think he's just spending it. I would love to know when he's going to create Pulse X. I would love to know.
Do you
Do you
think
think it's
it'll
coming?
launch?
No,
I
I
think
don't.
he'll launch it, but he will only launch it when the bull market is confirmed to be back. So he can.
Yeah, probably. You won't want to. You won't want to launch it too early.
This is crazy though. This. So if you go on this section, the FAQ, and is it this one? Or is it? Might be on. Uh, no, not that one. Pulse chain. Right, it might be the Pulse chain website. So there's a test net on here. Here we go. Sacrifice. So you got more of a bonus as well. The more you sacrificed, and
Yeah, I only put $900 in at the time of Chainlink.
so this disclaimer here, does this help? Does this get him away from any kind of
Yeah, it
personal
does.
doing?
That's what he put it in for.
That's why it's called sacrifice.
Yeah, yeah.
You were sacrificing to
It
prove
says
how
here,
strong you
remember,
believe the
you're not
blockchain.
buying anything.
Yeah.
The world is just noticing you're amongst a group of people that sacrifice to make a political statement. Some countries tax their citizens when they receive things of value. Pulse chain and all the coins on it are designed to start with no value, which is ideal. Consult your own legal and financial professionals. There's nothing written here should be considered professional advice. The only thing we know of set to be airdropped for free to his political group so far is Pulse Chain PLS. If we hear about other cool things, we'll let you know. Oh, the scams are the most obvious because they literally tell you they're a scam. And you just
It's
like ignore
crazy
it.
that, though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
he's a clever guy. He must have done loads of research to specifically word that in a way that he cannot get sued by the SEC, any lawyers, because he'd be like, "Oh well, they just sacrificed it. They never said they
100%.
get anything in return."
100%. He he's off the hook, I think.
Yeah,
Definitely off the hook.
I do, I do. But
So prediction for 2023, PulseX does not launch in 2023.
can he sustain going through the whole of 2023 as he is, like, with
Probably because he's got the original Hex as well.
yeah.
But that was just sacrificed for this, so he probably has loads of Hex too. So he's
But
going to be good.
can he? Is there not going to be some kind of revolt from
There will
people?
be, but they can't do anything. Like they literally can't do anything.
Yeah.
The Hex community are going to be crying hard next year, I reckon.
So there you
100%.
go. That's what we think on that. What's the next
Bullshit.
topic?
Um, may as well have a quick update on some of our shit coins, like Palm. I'll put it on screen. But I'll just quickly do Bitcoin as well. I noticed something earlier which is quite good in a way. Um, so on, you can see that. Maybe zoom in, get these off.
That does look like it's going to just continue to go down.
Well, yeah. So you would think that, right? So what you have for each step down, you have a capitulation wick that sets the floor, and basically you consolidate up, come down your brick straight through it. Capitulation wick sets the floor, consolidate, break down straight through. Consolidation wick, we went up, came down, consolidated, consolidated, capitulation wick there, right? But this time, for the first time in the series of breakdowns, we've actually had a second test of the floor. See that?
Yeah.
Now that's good, in my opinion. That's a good, like, a double support
Oh,
bounce. Yeah. And now, so what we're looking at short term is essentially the 17.6k level, because on every other single step down, we've never even managed to back test it as resistance, um, effectively, or even break back past it. So this time we double bounced. It looks like we're going to test it relatively quickly. Now, so if we break that, that means for the first time in this downtrend, we have broken the first wick, like resistance area. Look, you can see every time we've gone down, we've completely failed to get back to that floor basically as resistance. So this time, we we look like we're going to. Now, yes, we could get rejected. That's fine. But it would also be the first time we've actually been rejected on resistance itself. So I think this is like short term bullish, unless TradFi absolutely melts down. But I do also think people are going to get a surprise breakthrough on the stocks of resistance, which will filter through to crypto. So what I'm watching like, on the lower time frame, 12 hour, you can actually see if you put this in. So like bullish divergences sometimes take a little bit longer to kick in. But we had a bullish divergence here. That was 21st November. 7, well, like a week ago. So it's it kicked in and it's still continuing. And we have this diagonal support, which we've basically touched 3 times. Starts here, 2, 3. It's held, which gives me confidence that we can go up to this resistance, come back down, hit, and then go through to this target. And if we do that, you can actually extend this out over here. There's the wick on the 3-day. Yeah. So if we do break this, we do it for the first time in a downtrend, and that's our target, 18 to 19k. We can still get rejected there and come back down and test this area.
But it
But
reverses
short
it.
term, it's like it's good. And also you have the MACD score above 0 on a 12-hour time frame, which is another bullish indicator. And you have a bounce off support here and the stock RSI bouncing from the 0, so bottomed like we have here, and the RSI breaking above the moving average and maintaining above 50. So short term, I'm optimistic for the next week or so. If TradFi, it all hinges on traditional markets, maintains its own bullish momentum, but to the upside. So even though it does look like it's going to go down, and I've got this arrow here because it's just like a thought process that if we do get rejected, then it would naturally do something like this and get down to this monthly support, which hasn't been touched. Yeah. And also something to bear in mind is this area down here, which everybody keeps pointing out on Twitter. It's never been retested from this breakout. It doesn't have to be, but 9 times out of 10 in crypto, they always get retested. So, and the first time ever, we've gone below the 200-week EMA on the 2-week time frame. That's like a first for Bitcoin, which is pretty significant, really. And another thing I noticed, I was checking it out earlier, was the EMA and moving average are weighted slightly differently. So I usually put them both on for macro. You can see here, the 200 moving average is on the 2-week time frame. It's below, and that's kind of approaching the monthly support area. So there's a bit of confidence there that maybe we do head down here. But all we can do is take it week to week, see if we get rejections or confirmations. But yeah, I do agree it could definitely go lower. But at the moment, we're getting a nice bounce.
So 2023, what do you think, Bitcoin?
Like the top number for Bitcoin, like the maximum.
Yeah.
I think that's 70, 200 days, more than half a year. The very maximum's like 30k. Probably 28. I could be very wrong. But yeah, I believe it's going to be 28 to 30, 33k max. And that's basically assuming we have a rally. Because if not, you can see here we can easily go all the way down and then all the way back up and only get to that's 24 there. Here we are, December 23. It You can literally invert that, and we can end up back to where we kind of were. Let's go here. Yeah, like, something like that would not surprise me, but from down here, because all the bull runs and bear markets are literally you just flip them on the head and it goes until it tops, and then it takes a longer time in the bear market, but it just follows the EMAs all the way down. But yeah, I reckon 28 to 33k maximum. What do you reckon?
I was on a walk before, and I was thinking 30k in my head.
Yeah, yeah, and as well, we have to think about if it gets to 30k. Imagine what the altcoins are going to be like in ETH.
So
Like,
if we
that
go on
would
to a
be a
week,
decent. It doesn't sound very high, but from here, it's still a 90% move for Bitcoin, which is a big upside. The price is much higher, and then you're gonna have ETH. If Bitcoin does 90%, ETH's gonna do like 150. You know how it goes, and then all the bigger caps do the 5, 10x's, etc. Yeah, I think you're right there. I mean, we could end up trapped in this range down here for ages, but I would like to think by the end of 2023 we have recovered somewhat to the top of the like macro range. Got the 30k. Um, Palm Swap. Uh, Obviously a shitcoin that we got involved in on the community fair launch, which I'm assuming you're still holding.
yeah,
Yeah. Um. So obviously I took some profits around this area, and I took some profits in this area because I wasn't gonna not take the opportunity to take my original cost out and profits. Stupid not to. And then I sold like a week's worth of my because you get tokens released daily or every week.
yeah, you do, yeah.
Um, I think I only sold like a week's worth at 8 cents just before it went. I think I tweeted. I think the dump's coming. I sold here. Now I have not sold any more all the way down here. In fact, I've invested 4.5% of my profits at 0. Like basically this white line yesterday. You can see, some people have also buying up now. Um, but I am going to leave this little squiggle on because I do believe that like retail in a bear market, they're all dying to get the cost out. Or the ones who held to the top and didn't sell anything have probably been selling on all the way down. So there'll be loads of people either trying to get the cost out or trying to make sure they get profits plus like on top of the cost. Now, this date, 31st of January 2023, that is when retail, like people like you and me, get the final allocation of Palm tokens.
The final day.
Yeah, and so I believe currently and until then, the majority of retail, I could be wrong, but my opinion is the majority of retail will be selling a certain percentage of their daily
Yeah,
rewards
yeah.
because it's in profit. And after having a predatory pump by the market maker, they're seeing this go down, and they'll just be thinking, "Oh my god, it's going to go below the cost price which they bought at, which is this red line here." and I just want to get my money out and make sure I've made profit because they've basically made if they sold all of it now, they've made 36%, which bear market 36% still good. And if they've been selling from here down every day, even if it's been getting less, you can see a lot of the profits are in double or 100%, 50%, etc. And some of them didn't sell anything on the way up here. Some I talked to, they didn't take any cost out. And then it was coming down, and they still didn't take any cost out, which to me is just bizarre. But you have to protect your capital as soon as the first or second opportunity comes. You have to protect it. So yeah, I mean they've got a hybrid exchange working. That's fine. But I do feel like they're an amateur team. It just
Yeah,
they
the
don't, like
launch
they don't fill me with like a lot of confidence, if you know what I mean.
the launch wasn't great. It really wasn't.
No, the launch was poor, but it still launched, and it wasn't a rug. Um, but they don't fill me with a lot of confidence. Like they feel amateur. They don't feel like they've got um no a team of top tier coders or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Feels a bit they just feel a little bit ramshackle. I know a few other people kind of feel that way as well. So the sentiment is shared. However, the reality is they do have a product which is being used, assuming because it's a little bit opaque that it does make profits, and have had one burn. Um, so the only risk I see, is that it could be a slow rug. So a slow rug is whereby a team launch a project and then like they get bored of it or they're not great at it, or they're focused on staking and they stake their own shitcoin and slowly sell the staking rewards over time for profit before eventually moving on. Just a quick hello to Sato Shord. Thanks for tuning in. Well, there is I like if it was a rug, it's not going to be like a sell all the tokens run away. It would be, I believe, a slow rug if that was to ever materialize. We would probably know at some point. Um, but it's got a working product. They are working on the decks. They are active in their Telegram and Discord. Discord's quite quiet, but so yeah, they're just they're not a top tier team. That's all. But it doesn't really matter to an extent. As long as they do the burn quarterly, they do what they say they're going to do, which for the most part they have, and as long as the project survives to the bull run, that is when we'll see the insane burn metrics start kicking in when all the degens start coming back to the space, trading, etc., etc.
What?
But
So if we go on to the next one, GMX in 2023,
mm, but
because wasn't the volume approaching Uniswap levels?
um, no, the fees are approaching
The fees, sorry.
Uniswap levels. So it's the fees which generate the real yield. Yeah. But Uni's basically I don't understand why Uni's got such a high market cap. Because it doesn't share the fees, but GMX does. But it's kind of like at what price level are the interest rates attractive enough for institutions to buy up and stake it? Essentially, it's the interest rate that's going to show how valuable the protocol is. So if it's generating more fees than Uniswap, obviously that's due to liquidations, trading fees, etc., then it does become more attractive because it's paying you like, what is it now, 8% in pure ETH, which is 8% a year in stock dividend shares is probably really hard to come by. Could be wrong because I'm not involved in it, but I believe the metrics of GMX are very rare in traditional markets. So what we have, so at the price of $54 this week, the ETH is 3.65%. Now last week it was like 8.6%. Now the reason that is low this week, calculated week to week, is literally because we've been in this range here for a full week, which hardly any price action, which means hardly any liquidations, etc. But I think GMX next year it's going to be in this green area, which means I believe it's going to be 56 to $100+ and obviously people are, well, that's not a lot. However,
Still double where it is now, possibly.
still doubles, yeah, and you're getting paid to hold it. You can take your cost out if you want to, or hold it long term. It is like any investment, a long term project. And the chart's just nice. This is the 3-day time frame. You can see here, yeah, this right there. That was a massive buy up wick. That was the FTX crash. We've just pinged out of that, and the resistance here we've now retested, and as support. And this one, we retested it here, and we retested it again. So the chart itself is like just really looking good. Take the ribbons off. And I do believe it's operating on a 3-day time frame, like a high time frame scale. So I've said my target for this year, I made it back in summer, was this green area by the end of December. And we've been in it once, and I believe we are going in it again by the end of the month. And I'm just going to keep an eye on it, because when we do, this RSI value pretty high here, 79. When the RSI in the 3-day time frame is up in the top, I'll probably be creaming some profits. Not a lot, just creaming like small amounts. And then when we come back down, I will reinvest, because you're probably going to see this pop out, make some new highs, come back down, back test this as support, and then, it'll take its time basically. You can see here we're in a range for about half a year. Yeah, 126 days, so a third of a year. Now that's kind of, if the fundamentals keep growing, that's the kind of thing we'll see again. We'll make a new step up, essentially. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's right. He's right. We're just do and deliver. We don't give you a date of things to be done by. They just just get on and do it. Protocol solid. Got loads of growth. Highlighting that you don't have to use centralized exchanges either to do trades. So I think it's good. Anybody who's selling GMX right now or shorting it, for me, are taking a big risk, because the 3-day time, like the higher time frame, it just looks good. It's filtering through. Look, you can see a crossover now on the 5-day. If that closes in 4 days' time, it's making new candle closes. So I wouldn't be selling here. I think it's too early. I think you should sell when we get up here, if you're going to. I'm already considering aping back in with like a small trade amount. But I don't want to, because when I look at that chart, yeah, you're buying a top, but look at like the momentum. It's The momentum is changing. It does really make me want to ape back in with my trading pot, which I made some money on. But that's not the way to do it. Unless it's just for another quick flip, like when we pop out of here. But one tip for all people in crypto who are accumulating like DCA, put the daily time frame on, put the stock RSI on trading view and free view. That's all you need to do. And just identify where the cluster of candles are for supports. And every time on a daily time frame, the asset has a daily stock RSI this low, like around zero, and is on a support area, that's when you basically DCA. It works every time. Uh, um, hung around in here for a while. As you can see, you had that opportunity again here, and this works not just on GMX. This works on like every altcoin, every asset, stock market. Again, we came down low and we were support area. This technique, whether you believe it or not, works on almost every asset. You can't pinpoint the exact day, but if it is in that zone and on a structural support, that is the best risk reward for accumulation, basically. I've done it on EGLD, I've done it on Bitcoin, works in an uptrend and a downtrend. That basically you give yourself the best risk reward because you're more likely to have a bounce within the immediate future to either take profits for a trade or take your cost out. That's a pretty good tip. Can't remember where I am. I think I've just been buying all the time, chewing in range.
Right. Next subject, metaverse. So, what's going to
Yeah.
happen in 2023? And that includes Multiverse X, EGLD. It includes Decentraland, but as well as crypto, what about non-crypto, i.e., Meta, Mark Zuckerberg? What are your thoughts? What's going to happen in 2023?
Honestly, I think metaverse related projects are just going to fail hard, and that's not to say EGLD will fail. It does more than just provide the metaverse, but like Meta is in Facebook and Decentraland and all this Mana, etc. It's just Fantasyland. Like I don't believe they're worth anything to do. Um, like they're just not worth much. Just hot air speculation. And why are people going to use them? Nobody
Yes.
like gamers want a game. They don't want to sit in a virtual meeting room pretending to have a beer.
So you think there'll be little adoption by anyone other than people that are quite into it? You're always going to get your hardcore followers of whatever, aren't you? But
Yeah.
for it to be popular, I suppose you need the adoption from the masses. Is the metaverse just putting a headset on, or can it be other ways? Do you think? Or
No, I think it has to be virtual. If that's where it's going to go, it has to be virtual. Otherwise, it's not metaverse if it's on your PC screen. It's just standard gaming and socialization.
like The Sims, or something?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. Like Habbo and all the rest of it.
What was that?
Like Habbo, remember that? It
Yeah,
was like a
yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
chat
yeah,
room thing where you have like little people
yeah,
running
yeah.
around.
Just
Yeah,
an updated version of that, really.
that's what it is. Yeah, but I think there'll be like a very 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 small group of people who like it, but it's not the kind of thing that's mass adoption.
I think
Not in the current world.
I think the issue is with something like that, with metaverse VR, it's actually physically buying the headset to put it on. Do you remember when
Yeah,
3D TVs came out?
and they're
and
really expensive.
yeah, and but they never caught on, did they? Like they just died out. No one can be
Yeah.
bothered
Well,
buying the
it's
TV and
it's
then
because
putting the glasses on.
yeah, exactly, and also it's because it's really hard to create that technology, 3D or virtual headsets, which don't hurt your eyes and your brain, like give you headaches and stuff.
Mm.
So unless the technology can avoid causing like discomfort after a certain time period,
Yeah, yeah. I think maybe not 2023, but maybe metaverse. It has to be better than wearing something like like an
yeah,
Oculus. It has
like
to be something like clear. I think is it Google Glass where they're trying to improve it, where it's literally
yeah,
like clear
f-
glasses, and then you see stuff that's actually in your room, type of thing.
yeah.
Or as you
I
walking
think it's a
along.
little bit too early for what it is.
Yeah, I do. I think for it to have the full adoption, it needs to be you putting see-through glasses on, you're walking down the street, and then because you're wearing them, you see like an advertisement or you see something you can collect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But that is that's what 10 years, 5, 10 years off before anything like that even we can think about
yeah,
happens.
I agree with that. Like, look, I reckon the metaverse will probably be the firstly an all-in app. What, like put your headset on, do your shopping virtually, and all the rest of it. Could be, yeah, could be. Unless he's on about the meta HLD Multiverse X.
Yeah, so multiverse. I want to see what happens with that because they've obviously changed the name, but everything's still the same. So the Myer app's still the Myer app. The Myer Exchange is still the
Yeah,
Myer
I
Exchange.
think that's getting a rebrand. You know.
Everything's getting rebranded, but nothing.
Yeah.
I think
How
Saturday.
are they going to rebrand the IR Punks?
I don't know. Well, so with EGLD Multiverse X, there's an announcement on Saturday, and then I think everything slowly happens after that because the Myer app itself will change. With you can have a wallet. It's going to be. It's not actually the Myer app's going to be something else, but then you've got something called X Wallet. So then you've got your own avatar in the wallet, and you can spend on
Right.
it. And you can have your
Yeah,
EGL.
really pushing that route, but I think it's the wrong one. Me, I do think it's the wrong one. To
Well,
go down.
well, yeah, they've gone. They've basically gone all in. So we'll see. There's a mixed
Yeah,
there's a mixed reaction for sure with holders, especially older bag holders. I think.
yeah. I mean, it's not looking that good. The chart break above 46, and I'll probably see some upside. It'll be dependent on Bitcoin. Um, but I think the news came out here. Or was it here? I think it was here. 2 days, I think 2 or 3 days before the FTX dump. No, about a
Yeah.
week before it. That news came out and it was already like dumping down to here before it went in the FTX crash. So definitely wasn't good news. Like by either Wales or the overall community, it was more people obviously sold off based on that news. It didn't even reach the top of the range, which was just embarrassing. Like I genuinely thought it would get to the top of the range, and it failed. It's really
What
bad.
What's your thoughts? I heard something on a stream the other day, and it was basically saying for the majority of coins, and I kind of agree with it. So for the majority of coins, if if when Bitcoin hit its all time high in November, if the coin was around at the time, it will never hit its all time high again. So if
If
you
the
have a
altcoin was already in existence last cycle,
yeah, and it's hit its all
uh,
time high, it won't hit that
kind
all time
kind
high
of
again.
agree, kind of agree.
Yeah, I do.
Um,
Yeah.
I do believe EGLD. If it doesn't go below that $38 again, then there is a possibility it gets back to all time high.
I don't
But
think the majority will. That like obviously, yeah,
the
there's going to be
majority
some,
won't.
the majority will not never hit all time high again, especially
Uh,
ones that have been in existence for years.
yeah, a lot of money's going to rotate into the newer projects.
Well, that's it. That's why like GMX that we spoke
Yeah,
about,
yeah,
Swap, Acquirify.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. All these. Projects at Grail. I've got Grail on here. I think it's an interesting one. So it launched yesterday. Obviously, people are either selling at a loss or some farmers are converting some early rewards to sell. I think it's about 25. It's 25%. 7%, which is fine. But basically, when things get pumped, launch. This launched at like market cap 5.4 million, which for me was a little bit overvalued for a community fair launch. There was definitely FOMO in the fair launch. I was hoping for like 2.5, 4 million max market cap. So it is too big. Now it says here market cap 14.8 million. That's wrong. The FDV is 14.8 million. Now, if we check my spreadsheet for that, if the fully diluted value is 14.8
Yeah, I agree with that. The
million,
Elrond team is pretty good.
14, yeah. So the market cap is now only 3 million, if that's the fully diluted value, which should actually put us at a price of 148. How was that calculated? Max supply, fully diluted, yeah. So their maths is a little bit wrong on that chart. Either way, 207. I'm trying to think if that was 207. 70. How did you get market cap out of the price and fully diluted value? Sort of circulating supply, isn't it?
Yeah.
Be an idiot. Yes, yeah, 4.3 million, which is that sounds about right. Market cap right now. So I mean that's fine for me. But what you want to see when these things launch is you would rather see them go down and then form an accumulation range to give you confidence to buy in the open market, rather than a chart like Palm Swap where after like 4 days it pumps, because that causes instant FOMO and people start buying at the wrong time. Whereas if you get one like Grail, it's been a fair launch round, which is absolutely fine because you don't put money in unless you're prepared to invest in whatever the price ends up being. If it goes down on launch over the first few weeks or a month, and you like the project, you understand it, you've done your research, and buying as it's going down is the correct thing to do. Or waiting for like a few weeks to get an accumulation range and then scooping. Because if this goes to like 1 million market cap, then I'll be buying more. Because this is going to be one of my picks for the next bull run. Is a native dex on Arbitrum that I believe will get a lot of usage as Arbitrum grows, and will pay dividends. So for me, doesn't matter if it goes down out the gates. Like I already have a strategy for it, but a lot of people don't, and we're just ape into the pumps, rather than being patient and just waiting to see when it's oversold. As we mentioned, that daily stock RSI on micro caps, you need to like use the 4 hour to try and time the oversold periods. What was the question before I mentioned Grail?
I don't know. But I think we've reached the end of the show.
Reached out, haven't we?
So to sum it up, and all the things we've spoken about, centralized exchanges, we think out of the 10 listed, 2 will probably go in 2023. You don't think Pulse Chain will launch in 2023? I think it will if the bull run starts.
Yeah.
What was
GMX $56 to $100 minimum.
Yeah. Bitcoin 30K. I said
at some point, maximum. Yeah.
Metaverse, a bit like that. We just don't
Yeah, I
think
didn't
the
do.
technology is there to make it the adoption
No, I think the things you have
big
to
enough.
look into would start taking risks on the next narrative. So real yield, potentially AI related projects. All of the next gen tech that are already appearing on blockchain, and that's going to take a lot of research to really understand. Like,
Yeah,
I wouldn't feel comfortable investing in an AI crypto project. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
But that might be the next. That might be the next narrative of next cycle as well. So yeah, and by the end next 2 weeks, I'm feeling optimistically bullish on Bitcoin in the short term.
and
Targets,
we'll have a look at our targets that we put on the spreadsheet on the
yeah,
sorry, the graph.
I've got them on there.
But yeah, cheers for watching, guys. We'll be back next week with another stream. And yeah, if you have any questions on that one, just let us know. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to both channels, and we'll see you guys very soon.
Yeah, just before we sign off, Palm Swap, is it just you? No, I don't know if you caught us at the start, but we were talking about Palm Swap, and we're just saying basically they're not like a top tier team. They come across a little bit amateur. Um, so it's just something to keep in mind, really. It just makes it a higher risk investment compared to everything else in my portfolio. But it's risk free because I've already took cost out. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll hopefully catch you all next week.